Hi there, everyone. Welcome once again to Booker Z. I am your host, the Nate Damn Z, and with days to spare, before October is over and the Halloween season officially ends, I am finally getting around to talking about my take on Bray the Fiend Wyatt, and I'm saying that way so it sounds old school. Brutus the Barber Beefcake and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That one's my favorite. Ricky Steamboat, but he's also a dragon. But I wouldn't change all that much, honestly. I would have just mainly kept him away from any title picture. I mean, I think he definitely should have gone after the Universal title because he's one of the first Universal champions, if my understanding is correctly. He's like one of the 3 or 4 people that held it before it just became permanently attached to Brock Lesnar. But yeah, the rest of the internet, I agree. They put him in the title picture way too soon. So what I would have done is I would have stuck with that storyline where I don't know if that's what they intended to do, but it's what it ended up being. Whereas the Fiend was getting revenge for everyone who had wronged Bray Wyatt in the past. And I learned about all this as it was happening, because my first experience with Bray Wyatt was basically Deleter of Worlds. No. See, okay, this, I wanted to bring this up. I'm glad. My first encounter with Bray Wyatt was when he was feuding with Finn Balor, and he did what is apparently the infamous Sister Abigail promo. Everyone talks about how stupid it was. It creeped me the fuck out, okay? That is the thing. Bray Wyatt has the charisma, the creativity, he has everything. He could take some... I mean, the Fiend and the children's television show host version of Bray Wyatt, it shouldn't work. But he's like, when this first happened, he was the most over wrestler in the world. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't work, but he makes it work. So yeah, I was... And that Sister Abigail promo, that's when I was like only watching Raw in hopes of catching Bayley. Okay, I was only paying half attention. I was like, what's going on here? And then yeah, I mean, he looked silly in the veil, and the voice was weird. But I don't even remember what he said. It just freaked me out. So yeah, Bray's first victim was the Fiend's first victim was Finn Balor, and then there was his history with I don't remember the order, but I found out he had history with Daniel Bryan, and at first I was confused because they didn't explain it, but then they talked about the whole storyline where Daniel infiltrated the cult and got the better of him. Oh, there was also that bit where he was like, the Fiend was randomly appearing and taking out legends. That was kind of interesting. He started using the mandible claw on Mick Foley. Apparently that was a big deal. Kind of with what they're doing right now is the Fiend going after Randy Orton, because apparently Randy Orton's the one who burned the house down. I mean, and all I knew of up until Blackbird told me, Bray always had iconography of a burning building. I mean, that was the extent of my knowledge. I remember we flashed back to it in the Ultimate Deletion or whatever it was. I remember that was one of the first things in the Firefly Funhouse of him putting the picture. I had no idea Randy Orton had anything to do with that. So just keep him away from any title picture, but especially the Universal title picture, for like at least a year. Just have him go after the people who had done Bray Wyatt wrong. We still could have had the Firefly Funhouse match. We still could have had the swamp fight. And we could have had just about everything. Because the problem isn't that Bray Wyatt is losing. The problem is that Bray Wyatt keeps losing the Universal title almost as soon as he gets it. And the most recent thing with Roman Reigns, I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns taking the title, because even without the perfection that is the Roman Reigns storyline right now, it helps build Roman as a heel, because all of a sudden, the Fiend somehow ended up being the face in all these scenarios. I don't like he lost it to a low blow, because children's TV show host Bray Wyatt went on this whole thing about how he taught himself to not feel pain, and like The Miz used moves on him, and he's like, "Come on, that didn't hurt me at all." Okay, he didn't do that, but you get the idea. So, yeah, just keep him away from the Universal title picture for at least a year. Have him go after legends. He should have taken out Goldberg. We all know that. Have him get all the people who wronged Bray Wyatt. You know, maybe if they made Randy Universal Champion in this hypothetical world, maybe he could have chased the Universal or the WWE Championship for a while. I don't know. And then once we decide, okay, he has the Universal title, let him keep it for at least a year. Make him the next Brock Lesnar. No one can take it from him, because he finally has what's his. My opening line, or the line I wanted to go with, but, you know, ADD brain, I wanted to go with Bray Wyatt especially the Fiend, could be the next Undertaker. He really freaking could. But WWE and everyone else involved just needs to let it happen. And I mean, because he went for the Universal title so quick, and I mean, that's what led to what everyone considers one of the worst Hell in a Cell matches and everything. It was just rocket ship. So, yeah. So I think I've said all I wanted to say about Bray Wyatt himself. But here's the thing. Let me say I am absolutely loving Alexa Bliss's role in the current Fiend storyline. She is the perfect Harley Quinn to his Joker. I am not disputing that. It's been great. I was just talking with Blackbird about it yesterday. Since she's a horror movie man, she knows exactly horror movie fan, she knows exactly what to do. But Alexa Bliss could take Natalia's old farting gimmick and make it work. She's that talented. Everyone talks about how Bayley was a generic heel. I disagree with that. I think Bayley's a great heel. Alexa Bliss was the most boring, vanilla, generic babyface ever when she teamed with Nikki Cross. And I still rooted for her. I still wanted to buy her merch. She's best as her mean girl. Well, I would have said she was best as her mean girl heel. At first I thought making her babyface was a mistake, and she could probably get a Booker Z with her storyline with Nikki all on her own. It's one of the ones I'm thinking about. But yeah, you could give Alexa lead and she'll turn it into freaking gold. She's great. I love it. Like I said in the first Booker Z, where I say Roman Reigns maybe should have been the leader of Retribution, I'm not by all means saying what they're doing with him is wrong. So what I would have done instead of Alexa Bliss, and again, this is, again, me agreeing with the internet, but I'm going to get into more detail. I would have gone with Liv Morgan. I really like Liv Morgan. I think she's good on the mic. She's pretty good in the ring. But here's the thing. Her gimmick after the Riot Squad broke up, and, you know, she left after Charlotte beat her, it's like she was trying to figure out who she was. And they didn't really do anything with that. When I say she was good on the mic, I can't say more on it because she did the best with what they gave her. And yeah, it was awkward, but this is where I'm really going to get fanficky. This is where people were probably expecting. So yeah, a week or two of, I'm trying to figure out who I am. And then after that just sort of peters out. She mentions it less and less. And then she starts talking about this great new show she found. And maybe she starts showing up wearing red sweaters and humming the You know, the Firefly Funhouse theme, or maybe you just see her in the background playing with one of the puppets. And then make her the Harley Quinn. I don't know if I'd make her Sister Abigail. I don't know if we ever need to see Sister Abigail. I like the implication she's this entity rather than an actual person. But just go with this idea that the Fiend and or Bray Wyatt found her and took her in and gave her a purpose. I mentioned this in one of the prediction videos, but I'm just really disappointed that they just immediately put Liv and Ruby back together because it made the whole thing pointless. Both of them deserve better. I mean, we haven't seen them since their tag title shot. But yeah. But yeah, basically make Liv the one to have let him in. Pardon me, I'm sorry. But yeah, that said, I don't actually have a job with WWE. It's probably good because, you know, the Roman Reigns story is the best thing they have going on right now. But Fiend and Alexa Bliss is a pretty close second. I really like Liv, and I wish they would do something with her. And this would have been great. But yeah, I stand by what I said. Bray Wyatt could do great things with the Fiend if they would just let him. Bray, if you happen to watch this, and if you ever get sick of WWE's bullshit, make a horror series, make a horror movie. I am not a horror guy, but I will go to a horror movie on opening night if I find out Bray Wyatt wrote or directed it. It's just, you're just that good, dude. And, you know, the Firefly Funhouse match and the swamp fight, or the implication that cult leader is trapped somewhere in the Fiend or whatever it was. I just loved all of it. And it creeped me the hell out. So this is why I wanted to do it for Halloween. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover on this. So there's nothing else to say except let him in.